Cheers. We bought a rig.
Take me to the place where I come from, the only place where I really belong. Take me 'cause this voyage seems so long. Back to you. Ooh.
So welcome back to the fourth and hopefully final instance of our journey to buy an RV. Of course, we still have to get it registered in North Carolina, which past experience has shown doesn't go as easy as what it is.
True.
But we have it on order. Should we talk about what we bought and the options?
We're looking at a Brinkley G3970, which is a toy hauler from Brinkley. And we ordered one because we want special options on it, because if you're going to do this, you might as well get what you want on your rig.
That's for sure. So the first option was, the first thing that you got was
A U-shaped sofa.
U-shaped sofa. Brinkley actually called us back, or called our dealer back and said, "Are you sure they really want that sofa?"
Yes, we are really sure. The girls have spoken. They want the U-shaped sofa.
Our dogs are glamping dogs.
Yes, they're going to be definitely our passenger princesses.
That's for sure.
So yeah.
So that option number 2 was the double pane windows.
Yeah. So because it is sealed to be a 4-season coach, you can get condensation running down the inside of your windows when it's really cold outside. And I just don't want to deal with that. So I really wanted those dual pane windows to prevent that.
And I'm really looking forward to trying some of those off normal temperature opportunities, right?
We're planning on putting this to the temperature test.
Absolutely. I'm not sure we're going to hit Moab in the summer, but I certainly like to go see Quartzsite and a couple of those other places where the temperature variation can get pretty big. So I'm looking forward to that.
We like Arizona. We lived there for 3 years, so we want to go back and spend more time there.
Yep.
The fourth one was the Gooseneck
Right.
instead of a kingpin system. And there's a couple reasons that we got that. The biggest one being the amount of solar that we're planning on putting on the roof is going to increase the weight of the rig. And then we also wanted to reduce chucking, which can happen when you have a kingpin.
Right. And we wanted our bed in the pickup.
Yeah. Yeah.
So not having to have that big boxy thing in the middle will make it a little easier for when we're not hitched up.
Right. So, and that was mostly a weight decision that we made, but it was also just we wanted a smoother ride, and people are saying you get a smoother ride with a Gooseneck.
Yep. So we're looking forward to trying that.
Yeah, and we already have the ball to put in the truck, so we are ready for that one.
That's right. That install video is coming soon.
Yeah.
So the last option was the upgraded Axels.
Yeah.
Right.
And we went back and forth on that one. We actually had it priced out with 8K axles to start out with. And then that was the last thing that we were talking about is, do we really want those? Do we not really want those? There's a big discussion on the Brinkley RV Facebook group right before we placed our order. There was a lot of debate on which one was better.
Right. Because with the standard you get ABS.
Right. So yeah, when you upgrade to the 8K axles, you get disc brakes instead of ABS brakes. Most people like the ABS brakes better. And we were kind of questioning, do we want those ABS brakes? Because we understand from our vehicles that you want those on your vehicle, and we do have them on our truck.
And they are a pricey option.
They are. When you go to 8K axles, there's the feeling you're upgrading your axles and downgrading your brakes. But I don't think that's really the case. They're disc brakes, not hydraulic brakes, first of all. Right. And it has to do with how fast it can stop when you're on really hilly terrain. Right. So we felt like we needed the 8K axles for the rough roads going up to Alaska. Plus we plan on doing boondocking in this, so we're going to be going down some rough roads. Right. And then our salesperson told us that he felt like we had done our homework and that we were making the right decision and going with the 8K axles because we're planning on doing a lot of mountain driving and stuff like that. And we really can't get anywhere from North Carolina without going through the mountains, which I loved it when he said on the East Coast it's not a big thing. And I'm like, we have to go across the Appalachian Mountains to get to Tennessee.
And that was what the way he characterized it was, is that if you were just going to be going up and down the interstate on the East Coast, that the ABS would probably be the best choice for you.
Yeah.
But if you were going to be doing any road work out west or over mountainous terrain or anything like that, he thought that disc brakes were much better solution than the drum brakes with the ABS. So
we stuck with that.
He's the expert, and he's talking to Brinkley directly, and he asked the question for us, so that's what we went with.
And he also brought up the point that, in the future, we're probably going to be upgrading brakes and things like that on it as we, learn things going through this journey, but also as new things come out.
Right.
So there's a good chance that these won't be the brakes that are always on the system.
Right.
But they were the best that we could do at this moment. And we were interested in definitely the upgraded axles.
Right.
So yeah. And then the leaf springs, I think, are actually the same on the two.
I think so. There are 8K leaf springs in both cases.
Yeah. So,
Right.
okay.
So,
And then there are two options that we opted not to go for.
well, that's right.
One of which, we had a family meeting with our girls and talked about bed size. And they pointed out that if we want to sleep in the bed, we might want a king size bed because they're not giving up their space. So we opted to go with the king size bed, and not the option is to change to a queen size bed. That's just not going to work with our two huge German Shepherds that think that they get bed space. And then the last option
Was the Holy War.
Oh my word. And this one, it just amazes me. You are either, completely brilliant if you don't get them, or you are completely brilliant if you do.
And we came down on team.
We did not order the slide toppers. And I understand the convenience of slide toppers. I mean, they keep your slides from getting debris on them so that you don't have to check them before you bring them in and out, which sounds lovely. But then if you're somewhere that's windy, they catch wind. So they flap and they can actually be ripped off the top of your slides. So we don't know where we're going to be. So I came down with, I'll be the one that goes up on the ladder and clean the tops of the slides off.
And Josh showed that you can actually stand on the slides.
Yeah, that was the neatest thing ever. So some of the reasons that we like Brinkley so much are just the little things that they do. So where they put the physical ladder that you're going to use to go up onto your roof, it's in a drawer. It's in like a MORRIDE drawer underneath the coach. You pull it out from that drawer and your hooks are right above there. So you put them up onto your hooks and it's between your bed slide and your main slide, right? You go up your ladder and you step onto your bed slide and then step onto the roof. So you have the whole ladder when you step over to your bed slide, so it's a little bit more secure for you to get over there. But the bed slide is made for you to be able to stand on it.
Right.
Like, that's brilliant engineering right there.
And I think it was one of those things that you could put them on later if you decide you really want them. But if you put them on and then found out that they were not working for you because of where you were camping, disconnecting them was a bigger deal than having new ones connected. So we for better or worse, that's where we came down on it. So we are going sans slide covers.
Yep. And those are all the options.
Yep. Not many.
Everything else is dealer installed. Like if you wanted to have a washer and dryer put in it or a dishwasher put in it, right? That's all dealer installed stuff. And we opted for nothing installed by the dealer. We'll have them installed later if we need them.
And I think the last wrap up is that another bonus in the Brinkley column is that there are no software defined options that you have to pay for on a monthly basis after you buy it.
Yeah.
Unlike the Ford that I found out today, the navigation system is only good for a year, and then it's $80 a month to have the nav system in your truck work after that year.
Yeah, I am not a fan of software as a service.
No.
Not at all.
Another Brinkley Plus. Okay. So that's what we bought. Now, how about the buying process? Once again, we did internet buying.
We did. So should we pull the Band-Aid on whether or not we bought in North Carolina?
Sure.
Okay, so first of all, I really wanted to buy in North Carolina. That was my number one goal, was to work a deal with someone in North Carolina to make the DMV part of this easier. See earlier video on the North Carolina DMV.
Right. So, but the good news, bad news is that someone posted on a Brinkley forum.
Yeah, somebody got a little excited about she was getting a new Brinkley, and she posted on a Brinkley forum. So,
And how many dealers did you have contact you?
we actually had 10 people reach out that are Brinkley dealers to us. We got prices from all of them because we knew we were going to be doing internet buying, even if we bought it in North Carolina. That's just our comfort level. So
We don't people well.
we don't. Yeah, we actually don't people. What we also don't really like negotiations. So
Yeah, it was tough.
that part was going to be tough on us no matter how you look at it, because I am perfectly willing to go in and say, just tell me what your best deal is. And then when they tell me, I either want to buy it or I don't. So I did go back and forth a little bit more on this deal than I do on most deals. But it wasn't going to be a huge negotiation for us just because we're both introverts, right? So we, in the end, came down to 3 dealers that were all very close in price. Like, we got them all to be very, very close in price. But in the end, we actually decided from 6 deals.
Right.
And spoiler alert, we did not take the lowest deal.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, I think we got the best value.
I think overall we got the best value. But it will take us 5 years for that to pan out, right? But no, I think we got, in the end, they are going to cost the same if you look at the first 5 years.
Right.
But we got some things thrown in on the deal that we did take that are going to pay out over time for us. But will pay out well for us over time too. I really think that we did. And all dealers have special things that they put in. Some of them have campgrounds on their site that they give you a couple nights in the campground so that you can have that first trip there where they can help you. Some of them have big dealer networks that they're part of them. Some of them have call-in support for their owners. There's lots of different ways that they are
Differentiate.
Right, they differentiate themselves. So you have to decide what value those things have for you.
Right. So, for example, right, if you buy from a local dealer that's only got one location and they're in your hometown and they've got all of these great services, that could be of great value to you. But if you're buying it remote and they're offering you the equivalent of free oil changes for the life of the vehicle, and you're not bringing it back there, then the free oil changes don't do anything for you. But all dealers have something different.
Yeah, they all have a package that they're going to do. So we ended up in the end with 3 deals we were looking at, 2 in Indiana and 1 in Nebraska.
Right. So let's talk about the Indiana and what location does.
So yeah, we were able to immediately see what shipping of the unit out of Indiana cost. So things that are located close to Goshen, where Brinkley is manufactured, it doesn't cost them as much to transport 10 miles or 50 miles, right? Than as it would for someone to transport that same RV to Nebraska or to North Carolina, right? So you could see what the cost of the transport was very easily in the pricing.
And I'd have to say that across, when we got down to the last half of that list, we were able to see everyone was pretty much down to almost the same price to them, right? The differentiation became or it looked like what was the travel and the distribution costs.
Oh, I agree.
Right.
I agree. So yeah, definitely for those 3, for sure. So in the end, we were just trying to decide if we were going to drive to Indiana, which is a day trip for us to go up, a full day to drive up to Indiana, or if we were going to take the 2-day drive to Omaha, Nebraska. Now, you guys know us. Which do you think we did?
Yes. No bet. We're driving to Omaha.
We're picking up our rig in Omaha because we like driving around 2,400 miles.
For someone who doesn't have that time, who doesn't have a channel that they're trying to build content for, paying the extra cost to have the unit shipped to you locally from a local dealer is, it would be a different value decision, right?
Right.
But for us, with the type of traveling we're going to want to do with this, if this thing breaks, the chances are we're going to be out of the immediate service area of where we buy it anyway.
Right.
Right?
Well, exactly. And there was a value to buying inside of North Carolina that we did look at strongly. And part of this probably has to do with the fact that we are very introverted and that I wasn't playing the negotiation game the way that the RV dealers wanted me to here in North Carolina. But we couldn't get them down to where it was in
Close.
the same ballpark because, we ended up taking a deal that cost more because of that transport. I'm not going to hold it against a business that it costs them more to transport to their location. That doesn't seem right to me. I could have gone to Indiana and bought for less money.
But there were some differences in the offer, right?
Yeah.
That were not necessarily bottom line financial.
Right.
Right.
So the other side of it is that we have a salesperson that we have been dealing with since before we bought our truck, who is very nice, has been very, very honest with us, very straightforward, and their deal was very cut and dry. We were looking at things like what is your down payment policy? We liked the fact that the down payment policy in this case was the down payment was refundable.
Right.
So a lot of RV dealers won't do that if you're ordering an RV. Your deposit is not refundable. Now, we're not anticipating anything that would cause us not to buy this RV, but thinking that somebody has $10,000, $15,000 of ours, and if something did happen, we would be losing all that money. That was
a significant difference. Right?
Yeah. And their down payment was also, it was very small. And he's like, if you don't buy this rig is going to sell. Because we're not going with a huge RV. It's kind of, I'd say, a medium, large RV dealership. They've got multiple locations, just none in our area. But we didn't go with the big one, right? So the fourth one that we knocked out was a huge RV sales dealership that has RV dealerships all over the nation.
They all had different value.
They all had different value.
They all brought I think, comparable deals, right? It was just for what we valued and what we were most interested in terms of our decision criteria. We found the dealer at Bish's RV in Omaha who lined up their offer with what we thought was the best value for us.
Yeah.
Right? And that wasn't necessarily the bottom line number, but the value overall that we got over a 5-year period.
Right. And we're going to own this RV for a long time. There was a lot of things that we were looking at as far as which deal was going to work the best for us financially, and then also, which one we felt the best about, which is a lot when you're buying something that's this expensive. It's like buying a house.
Right. Buying a house remotely across the internet.
That you're going to drag down the street behind your truck.
Right.
It's great.
Comfort with the dealership, comfort with your salesperson was really critical.
Yeah,
right?
It was.
And then on top of it, we got that from Shannon, who was really great, and his entire team. But on top of it, you're also buying a Brinkley, right?
Yeah.
So you know that you've got that backing of the manufacturer, that if there's a problem or something like that, you have confidence that the manufacturer will help as well.
Right, and I have to say, that is something that every single dealer that I was talking to, because we would ask, should we be concerned that you're not, close to us. Even the people in North Carolina weren't close to us, right? So should we be concerned? And they're like, if you were buying something other than a Brinkley, maybe. But no, Brinkley's got your back. So it's not even we've got your back. Like, yeah, we have your back too, right? But they were like, yeah, I wouldn't worry about it with a Brinkley.
Right.
Which I thought was interesting that they all said the same thing, that no, the manufacturer you're going with is great, right?
Right.
Which we knew, and we did know, but it was nice to see that they're very well respected within the industry.
Right. Across all their dealers, large and small, geographically dispersed wherever. Right?
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone at Bish's and all of the places that we talked to.
Yeah.
And we're really excited to be, we have a manufacturing date.
We do. Okay, so we called up, we got our serial number. We know when it's going to be built. And you might want to subscribe or tune in, because we're going to Indiana before our RV is finished.
So we're going to get to go take the Brinkley Factory Tour and see baby on the line. We probably won't be allowed to take photos, but we're going to see if we can ask real nicely and see if we can at least get a photo in front of it doing,
This is it, right? But yeah, so we have our order number. We know when it's going on the line. We know about when it's going to be finished. It does then have to be transported all the way to Omaha, right? And then they need to do their PDI. Which is why I don't think that we'll get it until probably the very end of February or the beginning of March.
Right.
He is kind of really nervous about having to pick it up in the snow. And I'm like, it can still be snowing in Omaha at the end of March.
Right.
So,
if it pushes out a little bit, that won't be the end of the world, because we've looked and there aren't any campgrounds open in Omaha even through middle of March. So we might have to we might have to pick it up and head immediately south for 5 hours to find a campground that's open.
Yeah, we are. So this is going to be an adventure coming back to North Carolina, and the interstate will not be open coming through the mountains of North Carolina in March. They are actually thinking I-40 will not open at the Tennessee-North Carolina line until December of 2025 at the earliest.
Right.
They did have another section.
Landslide.
Yeah, they had another landslide last week. So, yeah.
So.
And I don't want to go through the construction in West Virginia.
We'd get film of it this time.
Oh, great. So you get to see Angela having a complete anxiety attack, pulling a brand new RV through this much space on both sides. I think I would probably melt down.
Right.
I don't know that I could get myself to go through it another time knowing how long it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll head to New Orleans and come up that way.
Okay.
Yeah. So, if you would like to see the upcoming trip to Brinkley's factory and then out to Omaha, hit the subscribe button, hit the like, and any last words?
I can't believe we're doing this.
I can't believe we're doing this.
Like I said the last time, oh my God, we're getting a Brinkley. I didn't think that was happening.
And on that note, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.